Hello my fellow Christian fiction lovers, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a review of All the Lost Places by Amanda Dykes. This is her most recent release and I finished it not too long ago, so while it's still fresh on my mind, I just want to share with you my thoughts on it, get back into doing reviews of the books I'm reading and putting out videos. Thank y'all so much for all your love and support on the last video I posted, and it meant a lot to me to read your love and support and hear that some of y'all are praying for me. My voice is so hoarse, I don't know why. But anyway, I'm in my dorm room at college. The locations are probably going to switch up because my mom does live so close. I might go back and forth, who knows, but the location doesn't matter so much as the fact that I'm putting content out there. So anyway, let's get into a review of this book. As I stated, this is her most recent release. I've read two other Amanda Dykes books, and I'm trying to remember what the other one was called. I think it was called Yours is the Night. Yes, that was her 2020 or 2021 release. And because of how much I loved that book, when I saw that this one was coming out, I pre-ordered it instantly. The second I saw it, didn't even read the description. And it did not let me down. So basically this book has two timelines, but it's not your typical dual timeline novel. So we are following Daniel Goodman in 1904 after he has taken on a new job to be a translator, as well as he's trying to find an old book, and for some reason that word is not coming to me of what that would be, but he is working for this company that is trying to create a little Venice in America, and so he has to travel to Venice, a place that he has always wanted to go. And we kind of get to learn some of his motives for taking this job, some of the buried reasons that the job that he takes is so close and personal to him. And the book that he is trying to find the original manuscript of is called The Book of Waters, and this is all fictional, but he's trying to find the Book of Waters, and he has a partially finished manuscript of it that his mother gave him. And through going to Venice and meeting a whole assortment of characters, he is seeking to find the original manuscript with the original ending, or the only one with an ending. And so the other perspective, or dual timeline in this book, is the Book of Waters, and following the many different characters in that book and just seeing how it all relates, and seeing Daniel kind of relates to the characters in that book and just be so invested in the story. It adds to his character, and it's kind of the whole purpose of the book. But anyway, those are the two perspectives. The plot develops really nicely. There's a nice balance of it being character driven as well as plot driven. I really enjoyed how, as Daniel is making his discoveries and kind of solving this mystery, so to speak, it's not like a suspense, murder mystery type of mystery. It's like the right word for it, but kind of discovering himself, but not in a coming of age way. Anyway, I'm not putting the words to it properly, but I just really enjoyed uncovering clues, and as he's meeting these different characters around Venice, and they point him in different directions, getting to go on this journey with him. And it's not confusing at all. I really appreciate that, because my brain cannot handle confusion. It needs things to be laid out properly, and so the way that he unpacks it all was done in such a beautiful manner that helped me grasp the story and relate to it myself. So that's the plot. Then the characters themselves. So Daniel is the main character, and he develops superbly. I'd say his development just progresses evenly. There wasn't one moment where you're just whoo, changed overnight. And I think I've talked about this before, that the changing overnight, or changed in a moment development, only works for some characters. It would not have worked for his character. So his whole time in Venice and everything he goes through, the way it just adds to his character development was really spot on, and I appreciated it. It was well done. Let's see, within the Book of Waters, there are quite a few characters in that book. The one we focus on the most is Sebastian. I'd say Sebastian, I wouldn't say he really develops. He's kind of a very solid character from the beginning. He does develop in figuring out who he is. Basically the main premise of his story is that when he was a baby, he was basically kind of like Moses, put in a basket and sent downstream, but except it was in Venice, not Egypt. And these 5 tradespeople who have this little group that they come together, and yeah, this little group of 5 people, tradespeople, basically take him in and raise him, and they're all his parents, and he goes between their homes as he's growing up. And it was really interesting. And so through that, he kind of has this identity crisis of who am I? Where did I come from? What am I meant to do in life? And so he does develop in answering those questions, but in the sense that does he go, Daniel kind of goes from a more his motives change, how about that? Whereas Sebastian, his motives are always good and pure, if that makes sense. So, I don't want to spoil anything, but you kind of figure out that Daniel has a criminal background in the first chapter, so that's not really spoiling much. Anyway, so the development looks different for each character, each main character, which I really appreciate. There is a hint of romance in this book, more so in the Book of Waters section than Daniel's section, but it was just enough to make it I don't know, seem like a book. That's a terrible description, and I don't know why I said that. It's just enough romance to not distract from the story. It enhances the story. There we go. One of my favorite words, enhances. So that's the plot and the character. The influence of a Christian worldview, or if it's Christian fiction, it's definitely present. I'd say the characters do look to God. Daniel meets this one girl in Venice who I'd say definitely points him towards Christ. I loved her character so much. I forget her name. Vittoria. She was a very sweet character and helped the book so much. But anyway, so she definitely points him towards Christ. I'd say Sebastian kind of comes to a knowledge of being a child of God somewhat in his self-discovery of who am I, what am I meant to be doing in this world, that identity crisis. It's not the strongest influence in the world. I have read others, the book I'm reading now has a much bigger Christian worldview in it, but it's not lacking. I would still label this as Christian fiction. I will always, in the back of my head, see places where a Christian worldview could have been added more, but that's just who I am. I always think through that lens, not to sound high and mighty, but just kind of because of some of the books that I read when I started my whole Christian fiction journey, just have kind of shaped that thinking in me. But I'd say it's a very healthy amount, and you can, being a Christian, you can definitely add it in more, and knowing that the author is a Christian. So those are my thoughts on All the Lost Places by Amanda Dykes. I gave this book 5 stars because it was so beautifully written. She just has this poetic prose way of writing that is so lyrically beautiful to read, and I am eating it. I ate it up. I loved it, and my voice is growing so hoarse, so that is a sign that I should probably stop talking. Let me know if you have read this book or if you're planning on reading it. I would love to chat about it in the comments. It's just such a beautiful book, and I want to keep talking about it. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, bye!